What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In this video, we're going to talk about Layer 3, and by we, I mean me, but we're going to talk about it in the chat too, perhaps, because I know a lot of people have a ton of questions around what exactly is going on here, what exactly is this threshold, how long do we have, how do you keep costs low? Well, I don't know if I can answer every single question. I think I've got the answer for most. So let's get into it. But just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Please don't just take whatever I say as financial advice because it's not. Now, if you're after this video, if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, you can join the 100 or so members who've already joined the Web3 Secret Society. It's a group to share alpha, but most importantly, there's a lot of coaching that goes on here and making sure that every member is able to maximize on the top airdrop activities with clear guidance and all that. The link to that is in the description below. So I mentioned the Layer 3 Cube airdrop campaign likely a week and a bit ago. It's been something that definitely has been popping up on crypto Twitter as well recently. A lot of people have been minting these cubes. Now, there's a very interesting way that we can actually tackle this because Layer 3 has typically been a website, much like Galaxy, like Intract, like Zeely, and these campaign websites, their goal is to partner with special projects, protocols, chains to help them promote their campaign. Remember, while we are airdrop farmers, right? I'm going to assume every single one of you watching this video is an airdrop farmer, regardless of whether or not, you think that you're here long-term for the tech, because we have an important role to play. It's the airdrop farmers who build up a ton of transaction volume, who build up the legitimacy of a protocol so that they can attract VCs, tons of capital, tokenize, get us the airdrop we want, and get the whales and the VCs the money when they sell the tokens into the people who end up adopting the technology. Now, Layer 3 is going beyond, above and beyond what they were doing as a sort of campaign website. In fact, what they're doing is they're having a swap feature you can bridge. Their plan is to make this a more comprehensive service, and I'm sure we haven't seen all of it yet. But as part of that, they are pretty much integrating what they've already been doing, which is supporting protocols, into their airdrop campaign, which also includes using some of Layer 3's services. So I've included their Twitter here. As of the most recent announcement I've seen, 1.5 million cubes have been minted so far. Collect cubes, claim rewards. And it's not just the pitiful rewards you see at the top of your screen, because if you click on rewards to claim, and by the way, I'll show you how to get here after, you can see a ton of things you can do, like activating a bridge discount. These gems get added to your account so you can pay for other activities. Like if you click on this, you can get a trade discount, a bridge discount, and potentially a streak repair, which, I'm not going to let my GM streak get killed. One of the beauties about this is for those of you who used to use Snapchat, especially Snapchat was very good, when you're dating, everyone had those streaks and you just sent pictures and did whatever just to keep up, right? I remember getting some of those streaks in the thousands. It was absurd. Now, while we're here, these are the basic quests that you can do as part of Layer 3. I put a link to that in the description below. It is a referral link, so if you use it, it does help me out, appreciate it. You can actually go and create your own referral link by clicking on the top right button here and clicking refer a friend. And when you do that, it asks you to do a basic, well, I guess I've already approved it, but you'll get an invite link. So while you can use mine for this one, potentially if you want to, for your friends, the ones you tell about this, make sure you don't send my link, send yours. Make sure that, as much as possible in crypto, you want to support the people that the people who help you out a lot. And if you can get help as well, so when you're giving this alpha to other people, when you're sharing this video, I hope, tell them, hey, I've got a link as well for Layer 3. You don't need to use Brown Gent's link, use mine. I'm not going to be mad at it. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to help you guys all earn the most. So There's a ton of quests. How do you figure this out? The first thing I want you to do is click on search on the top right. When you do that, you see this kind of script, right? You see all of these quests. Now, there's a way to filter it here because all we care about is cubes. So you click on this button for cubes. You click on hide completed so you don't see ones you've already done. And our goal here is to do as many of these as possible. From the people who've already got to 100, when you get to 100, you get a confirmation that you've basically qualified or you're eligible. And this is exactly the metric you have to get to. Now, just so you guys know, there's no rush. Like, you don't have to finish it today. You've got about 34 days left. So a little less than 5 weeks to get 100 cubes. And I want you guys to think about being strategic, because we aren't just farming this airdrop. This is one piece in your entire airdrop ecosystem. So if you're somebody who's farming base, right? If you're farming base up here, or you're farming ZK Sync, right? It could be beneficial for you to actually go ahead. And by the way, I'll hit hide completed and refresh this because I want you guys to see like all the chains that are available. So you see Linnea's over here, OP, Celo, Polygon, ZK EVM, Gnosis, Metis, Zora, Mode. So many different protocols. And all of this, because this is not a test net, these will give you experience and they will get you on-chain transactions. So you don't have to do all your ZK Sync cubes on the same day. Why? Because once again, we are looking at spacing this stuff out so you don't sit there and then you go do another extra ZK Sync transaction later. If you make a plan and map it out and you say, hey, there are like 5 ZK Sync cubes I can gain, let me do one every 4 days or 5 days or whatever, right? You make a sort of note. The one thing I would say is just make sure that none of them are expiring, because it'll tell you on those when you go click on them if they're going to expire soon. So this allows you to map the whole thing out. And by mapping all of this out, you make sure you're not wasting any gas fees. That's the number one thing I want you guys to focus on, okay? That's the number one thing. The next thing over here is, so now that once we got back to, let's say you're somebody who's, I've heard in the chat earlier, Metal Bum said they've done 20 boxes, done a ton of time. DR Darkness said they did 40. Sometimes you've already done the transaction. So let's say you're like clicking on base. I'm going to stop hiding this. I click on base. Here are every single cube I can earn. Now, I've already earned a ton of them. But layer 3 swap on base. Maybe I've done this already. Then I can click on this. Like, let's say, I didn't do it yet. But let's say I clicked on it and I'm over here and it asked me to do something that I'm pretty sure I've done. Even if you don't know, just always hit continue, because when you do that, it doesn't show it here, but it'll verify if it hasn't verified for you yet. And if you've done that transaction recently, you get credit for it. So you don't have to do it again. So some people are actually going in and redoing actions they've already done this week, last month, whatever. Sometimes the actual task will ask you to have done it in the last week, but it doesn't hurt to just try to move forward anyways. The worst thing you're going to get is a no, it didn't go through. And that way, hey, you just do it. Doesn't matter. And, at the end of it, you get to claim a reward, which is basically minting a cube. Minting a cube will cost you like 30 cents typically. So this is what I want you to do for all of them. You can go on chains you've already worked on recently. You can go on, for example, ZK Sync. Have you, done any of these things recently? Like, check it out. Like, for example, there are things here that I have to do, like the Safe Wallet, but maybe I used Maverick. Maybe I went through and did some stuff on Maverick that I don't have to do it again. So these are the things that I think are very easy to do. If you're ever wondering where you're at in terms of quests, you just go to your profile, and when you click on it, at the top, it tells you how many cubes you've done. In my case, I've done 81. That snapshot of 100 was taken from our Web3 Secret Society, because we have a channel where we discuss strategies exactly on which ones to do and other great alpha. One good alpha that came out this morning, which I was not aware of, so credit to the person who said it. I'm not going to name them just in case they don't want me to. if they want to, they can comment below and say that was them. I'm not going to do it. But you can go down here, actually. So you go beyond all of this and you go to streaks. And what they've done is they have daily and weekly tasks. And you see here, like I've zoomed it in. If you do 3 swaps, so 3 days in a row, you use Paymaster using this thing, you'll earn a cube. If you do the same thing 3 times, Koi to USDC, in this case, it's 100 USDC, 3 times, boom, cube. You add USDV liquidity 3 times, cube. This one takes 3 weeks though, right? So just keep that in mind. The XSwap, 5 times for 25. So you can look at all of these and think, hey, what else can I do right now to get me some extra cubes, right? Because these will happen. The other thing that will happen is pretty much every day or every other day, you'll have new quests come up. And those new quests are something that you can take advantage of to just, hey, you don't have to do the ones that exist right now. So if I go back to search and I check which ones I have left to do, all the ones here, I have pretty much picked through a bunch of these. Some of them take a lot longer in terms of time. Some of them cost a ridiculous amount of money. I know some of these like image ones, it was like 35 or 40 or 50 bucks to get like the NFT. So I said, forget it. I'm not doing it. My cost on any of these queues is likely like maybe $1-2, if that. Because remember, they also charge you 30 cents to mint a cube. So just by minting a cube, that's 100 times 30 cents. That's $30. It does add up. So, and Crypto Gems asked that right question. So how much of a high priority that it is? What I will say here is I think that we definitely have the potential of making around maybe, I think like 800, 750 to 1500 US dollars is probably where I stick with this. But that's also why I'm telling you guys, I want you guys to incorporate this as part of your airdrop activities for other things like ZK Sync. Because once you start kind of doing one of these activities to hit multiple things, you're saving gas fees by doing this here than doing 2 different transactions. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you were to sort of just do every single thing in isolation and you don't plan things out, your cost will be much more expensive than if you plan it out. So that is sort of the way I see it here. The other thing is, and obviously, like, part of the reason that I would never not make the video, but I think a lot of people are sort of almost like sleeping on it. And I think a lot of people will end up doing like 30, 40, 50 cubes and stopping. But I think it is definitely worthwhile to get this done because Layer 3 and sort of, how do I put this? Layer 3 and a lot of the other protocols that come out, like, yes, I see in the chat, $2.5 million funding. Do you think that people are funding $2.5 million to get $2.5 million back? No, they're funding this hoping that this is worth $500 million. And I think that is probably what Layer 3's potential valuation will be when all of this comes out. So this is why I want to do it. Like I said, guys, I am not here to make videos for the sake of making videos. In fact, I have 3 videos that 2 of them I've wanted to make. Well, this one and the last one today I wanted to make for a while. Another one, I actually planned on making it. I canceled it. But the real plan with all of this is, guys, nothing should be taken in isolation. What I want you to do is, hey, if this is not the right one for you, then by all means, don't do it, right? Because I don't want to paint with a broad brush. A lot of what you should be focused on depends on where your like the size of your portfolio and sort of the kind of bets you can make. For those of you who would say, hey, like I have less than $500 to do something, I would not recommend this. In fact, I would recommend that you're out there not spamming, but basically posting a bunch of SocialFi. And if you want to see the SocialFi links I recommend, watch the last video that I made. Maybe I'll make a video tomorrow on that. But I hope this sort of clarifies kind of the path, how to keep your costs down very low. Like I said, map it out. Don't do every single cube. Yes, it might take some more time, but remember, you're getting like you will get. I believe you will get a significant airdrop for doing this. So I think the best plan is if you've planned it out and you said, hey, I'm not going to do ZK sync activity here and then another one over there, then you know what? Maybe, I think that's sort of the best way to do it, right? But if you don't plan it out, my fear for you is that you will get started. You will get to like 60 or 70 cubes and then go, I just don't want to do the rest of it. At that point, you've already burnt the money. So like it's almost like a sunk cost. So, and it's hard, right? Because I don't want to tell you what to do because I can't see the future, right? I can't. But I personally think it is worthwhile, and I think that's the way you could potentially do it. Crypto Gem says, appreciate today's the day I joined the Secret Society. Hey, I really do appreciate it. I will be honest with you guys. I'm getting very close to looking at capping the number of people we can have, only because I want to make sure that I can get back to everyone as soon as possible, but it's getting harder and harder. The only challenge, the wrinkle in this is we have the YouTube memberships opened, and I can't close it until I've moved everyone over from YouTube. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. So until I find that solution, I can't close the Web3 Secret Society, but it's definitely something that's been on my mind. Kernel level 22, nice. Mandatory to mint at least 100 cubes, yes. 100 cubes. At 100 cubes, I stop. That's the cut it at that point. You need 100 cubes for this airdrop. If you aren't gonna do 100, then I wouldn't bother. Starforge says, more alpha in search, change it to off chain. Sorry, what? What do you mean, like type? What do you mean? These quests are free? So there are some free quests that you can see like through like Mumbai and X1 testnet. The other thing also, guys, before I forget, is when you are doing this, remember this thing started a while ago, and people just weren't aware of it. So what you will find is some of the things you're unable to do. Like it'll ask you to mint something that expired like in March or February. So once again, like I said, I think it's worthwhile to just do a rough over going, okay, what does it look like? What can I do? Try to do the things that, you can actually get to, map it out and figure it out. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Also, if you have a group that you can work with, whether it's a Web3 Secret Society or whether it's like your friends, if you guys can probably sort of tackle them and figure out, hey, like, here's what I did. These ones are really, really good. Nausicaa, I did make a video on LRT, but I'm going to make one on a new LRT that we've been already working on in the Web3 Secret Society. For all the other sort of questions that you guys have, telling you like we don't have an AMA today, but maybe we'll have one tomorrow, and I'll answer it then. I just don't want to get off topic here. So guys, with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching because I gotta get to the next video. Guys, we're almost at 10,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Share this video with someone that you know. I think this is a amazing sort of campaign system. This is one thing that I recommend you guys not sleep on. You at least do your due diligence. Get those 100 cubes. You've got another 5 weeks. Remember, you don't have to do all the ones they have here. You have some selection. Some will expire, but you can definitely like wait it out and see what other things come out. And remember, map it out with all of your other airdrop activities, because if you do that, you're not sitting here doing a transaction here and then another transaction on another chain. I don't think XP matters for those of you who are asking, but I think 100 cubes is when it tells you you're eligible. Now, if you want to do more than that, so be it. I know people will always be extra, but at the end of the day, get at least 100. That's what I'm aiming for. So with that being said, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, help us get to 10K. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.